Hey everyone! Today we're gonna do a little bit of housekeeping first, then some good news about my data gathering, and of course, show me the money. First, I'll have to address an omission I have made in the previous video. When setting up the active markets filter, I blew right through it, focusing on picking the correct number of markets to trade and to skip. But what was missing in that setup was the criteria for Moontrader to rank the markets by how active they are. One of the viewers pointed this out, and I immediately went back to add the 3-minute absolute coin delta to all my new algos. The older algos, by the way, have been set up correctly from the start. So then I wondered what was actually happening without setting this parameter. I mean, I saw orders being placed, and so did you, but how? So I made a test setup to check. It appears that the algo, using some logic that remains a total mystery to me, picks however many markets are specified and sticks with them no matter what. Things keep changing in the market live, but the algo remains loyal to these coins. Stopping and restarting the algo changes nothing, still the same coins. If you were to restart the core, it picks a different set of coins, but then it sticks with them as well. I actually left it running for 2 hours and nothing changed, still the same coins. If there's anything to learn from this, is that you better specify the criteria, otherwise you'll have unpredictable results. Another comment from the viewer was regarding this funding filter. The claim was that this time value should be negative for the filter to work. In the video, I left the default values and moved on. But this comment prompted me to, yet again, check what was actually happening. So I set up a set of test algorithms for the upcoming funding of IOTA at the rate of minus 0.28%. I created different combinations of values, rates above and below the stated rate, as well as positive and negative time values, plus a control with no filter. I used different distances and order values so that each order could be clearly identified on the graph. So let's see what happened. Here we have all the orders running. At 40 seconds to funding, nothing happens. The 50 USDT order is not cancelled because the actual funding rate is not within the range. So the time does not matter in this case. At 30 seconds to funding, the 60 USDT order is cancelled. The actual funding rate is within the range, and the positive time value of 30 seconds actually works. At 20 seconds to funding, again, nothing happens to the 70 USDT order. Now the moment of truth. Will the 80 USDT order be cancelled at minus 10 seconds? Well, no. It keeps running. And it is cancelled exactly at 0 seconds, but that's due to the positive time after the funding. Obviously, nothing happened to the order with no filter. The conclusion is that, first, the filters operate using the AND logic, where if both boxes are ticked, they both have to be true at the same time. And secondly, only positive time values work. So it's not like, Houston, we have T minus 60 seconds to liftoff. No. Keep it in mind and keep it positive. Now for the main course. Back in Diary 35, I calculated how much my data gathering is costing me per day. Back then, it was a daily loss of 1.4 USDT or thereabouts. Since then, a lot of time has passed. I actually launched proper high-volume algorithms based on the data gathered. So I thought it is time to revisit that metric. To see how much it is actually costing me now in the longer run, and also see how fast I got a return on my investment with data-based flat Bitcoin strategy. Let's see the current summary of the costs. Here is the breakdown per distance regardless of BTC volatility. At this point, I've spent 81 USDT in total at an average of about 1 USDT per day. Shorter distances keep costing more, while longer distances are either around zero or even profitable as a whole. But what do I get for that cost? Well, let's see. Look at that. Overall, I got 737 USDT, averaging a profit of 25 USDT per active day at the cost of just 1 USDT per day. Different distances seem to have varying degrees of success. 0.8 made 6 times the cost, 1.1 made 3 times the cost, and these 231 USDT at 1.5 are practically free. Only 2.0 is not quite there yet. Overall, my natural selection algos have paid for data gathering 9 times over. And that's only on flat Bitcoin and only at 4 distances. I haven't really used all the data, and I haven't used the data gathered for high volatility. Now let's see how fast this payback happened. Here I have the running total for all data gathering, and here the running total for natural selection. For a very long time, I only had the cost. Then, on day 56, I launched the high volume algos. And on day 58, their profits have exceeded the cost, so only 3 days to pay back. And it's been green ever since. As I've told you before, data gathering on high volatility is actually making money. Here is the overall cost, and here is high Bitcoin. All distances made money. So this part of data is more than free. But let's turn it around. Let's go to flat only. Now we're talking. Everything except 2.0 is pure cost. Let's check the payback time under this worst case scenario. Okay, now data gathering is losing money from day 1. Same as before, natural selection is launched on day 56, and by day 60 it is again in the green. So in the worst case, the payback was 5 days. I'd say it was worth it. It was worth it many times over. So data gathering is not simply a necessary evil and a cost that you just have to absorb. It is a valid approach and basis for decisions. And once you figure out how to use it, it pays for itself pretty quickly. I really no longer care too much about the P&L for data gathering. It's just running there in the background and I just collect the data. It's like a useful utility. Now it's time for Show Me the Money. Here is my dashboard. The P&L yesterday and today is very modest, if non-existent. Since last time, I am up 142 USDT, and in the last 4 to 5 days, the results have been stagnating pretty noticeably. Take these 4 days together. It's just 3 USDT, and a lot of it is thanks to the brief intervention of high volatility algos right here. The natural selection has been declining in performance over the last week. It's not terrible, it's not draining money, but something is definitely up. And I intend to find out what's happening or what to do about it. So, what have we learned today? Firstly, do not leave your active markets algos without filtering criteria. Secondly, with funding filters, if you do decide to use them, always use positive time values. Thirdly, data gathering has paid for itself many times over. It is not just a cost, it is a useful utility. And the fourth one, this one's just for me. I better go and figure out what's been happening this past week. And as soon as I do, you'll be the first to know in the next video. Until then, have a great one and see you soon.